What's up, everybody? Scott from the F1 Castle back again for part 2 of our 2023 Topps Chrome Formula 1 racing card set review. We're taking a look at more of the rare inserts here, my final thoughts, as well as a little sneak peek on the Sapphire set as well. Enjoy. All right, so now let's, stick with me here. I know it's going to be a long video, but here we go. We're going into the image variations. So here we go. There's 10 cards. This is just the image variations. This isn't celebrations. This is purely base image variations. So we got Max Verstappen, George Russell, Carlos Sainz, Lewis Hamilton, Kevin Magnussen, Joe Guan Yu, Alexander Albon, Logan Sargent, Ayrton Senna, Michael Schumacher. You knew Max was going to get one. I think George is a good shout. I like Sainz here. Hamilton. Some people might not love K-Mag in this spot, but again, this, I don't mind it. I don't mind it. I think K-Mag, he's never had a variation before. He's a fairly popular driver overall. He got a pole position. I like Kevin Magnussen here. I like K-Mag. I think it'll be good. It'll help the spot. Joe Guan Yu, he didn't get one last year, which was a shame because usually the rookies do get one. He didn't get one. So I don't mind him having one here. Helps the longevity of the spot. We'll have to see. It's all going to come down to, it's tough. It's tough, right? They go with here only 8 out of the 20 drivers, right? Because Senna and Schumacher are going to eat up 2 of these spots, which is amazing. Logan Sargent gets one. I think the big snub here is Oscar Piastri, right? If Oscar Piastri had a variation, man, because again, guys, you got to think, when I look at image variations on a set checklist, I'm like, okay, great, cool for Chrome, epic for Sapphire. Now, Oscar got one last year, so he did get, his time in the sun for variations from the F2 celebrations last year in Sapphire, but he doesn't get one here. I think that's an unfortunate miss. But Senna and Schumacher, the pad paraja of these guys is gonna be epic in Sapphire. Now, I won't get too far ahead of myself because, again, we're talking about Chrome here, but guys, this is a nice set. I think overall, these 10 drivers on the image variation set is great. I'm really excited. I'm very happy with it. Now, again, they're 1 out of 469 packs. They're fairly rare. You should expect one, in every couple cases or so, every case or so. So not too bad. The image celebrations are actually very similar in terms of odds. Right here, it says the F1 odds are 1 in 529 because there's only 9 of them. And then there's the F2 odds, 1 in 4661. So if you put those together, you're roughly around here, right? So you're going to basically be getting the same amount of image variations as you get image celebrations. Now, what I like here is they've added in some other drivers. They've kept some the same, but they've added in some others. So Max, Russell, Sainz, Hamilton, Magnussen, and Joe are getting double treatment. They're in both, right? So we're going to see them both in the image variations and image celebrations. Now, last year, image celebrations was specific to race wins. That's clearly not the case here, right? Because, Max won, Leclerc won, sure, Perez won, Russell won, Sainz won, Hamilton won. Bottas did not win. Magnussen did not win, and Joe did not win. So I'm actually curious around what they do. Now, K-Mag, they could easily use that pole position. I don't know what they're going to do with Bottas and Joe. Remains to be seen. I'm excited for it. I'm here for it. Let's see. I think it's nice to get Bottas some love. He has a lot of fans. So, and then again, we're getting the F2 celebration as well. So this will be Drugovich for winning the F2 championship, similar to what we saw last year with Piastri winning the F2 championship. He got one. So I think overall, the fact that they've got both image variations and image celebrations are great. Both of them should show up in Sapphire. We'll look at that in a second. But I think they both should be in Sapphire, which is going to be awesome. All right, so now let's get down to the autograph checklist because there are a couple things I want to go over here. So first of all, you're going to see we've got green, gold, gold wave, orange, red, superfractor printing plates, kind of the same that we saw last year. I don't know who will have green. Last year, green was F2, and then it was Otmar, Leclerc, and Sainz. Literally, the only F1 that had it was Otmar, Leclerc, and Sainz. Those are the only guys that had green out of 99. It was a little interesting. But we'll have to see. The odds, this is interesting, is that gold wave is actually more rare than true gold, which leads me to believe that there are more drivers that have a true gold than drivers that have a gold wave. So that's cool. I like it. I like to have a little bit of variance between which drivers have which. Reds are obviously going to be, a huge taste, and of course, superfractors. Okay, so now let's take a look at the list. There are a couple that I want to highlight here. The first being Antonio Giovinazzi. So you can see here, Antonio Giovinazzi, he did not race. He was not racing anywhere except Le Mans, actually, won Le Mans, but that was in 2023. However, he was a test driver, reserve driver for actually a few teams. For Alfa Romeo, which I think is where the card is actually going to be, and then for Haas and Ferrari. For all three of those teams, he was a reserve test driver. I think they're going to put it with Alfa Romeo. I don't 100% know, but I think they're going to put him with Alfa Romeo in the set. So that's the one I wanted to touch on. Let's kind of go down the list here. Again, Prost has auto, so this is a legend that has an auto. He had them in Eccellenza, so I was expecting him to have them in Chrome. He does, which is great. Let's keep going down the list here. Coulthard, another legend who also has autographs. Love to see it. Danny Rick shows up in autographs, which is great because there was a lot of questioning around, what kind of participation he would have in the set. Love that he has an auto. As we continue down here, there's a lot of new names, right? A lot of the new F2 guys. And then we'll move over to the right-hand side here to go over. Just want to highlight a couple more. So Mick Schumacher. This is what I was talking about earlier, guys. Mick Schumacher was a reserve driver for Mercedes. I think he's going to be in a Mercedes suit in this card, which is awesome. I think that's cool. I think Mick Schumacher fans are going to love that. And I think it'll be a big draw to the spot. And the spot's going to be cheap, by the way, if you're talking like a break, because all he has is the autograph here and then his driver of the day. So it's not like his spot's going to be a lot, but it'll be cool. It'll be fun to hit a Schumacher Mercedes auto. Again, I don't know for sure. They could put him in the Haas racing suit, but I'm expecting him to be in Mercedes. De Vries still has autographs, which is good. I know Ricardo has them. Ricardo will likely be in his AlphaTauri suit, but De Vries is still there as well. Mansell, again, another legend here that has autographs. Love to see that. Then we got Robert Schwartzman. So most people are used to Robert Schwartzman from the 2020 set when he was an F2 driver, right? But now here he is a test and reserve driver for Ferrari. So he's going to be in a Ferrari suit. Almost guaranteed Robert Schwartzman will be in a Ferrari suit for this card. So I expect that to be really cool for Ferrari fans and Schwartzman fans in particular. And then the last one that I want to touch on here is Stoffel Vandoorne. So Stoffel Vandoorne actually won Formula 2 way back in the day and then joined McLaren and had the unfortunate experience of being partnered with Fernando Alonso, who absolutely blanked him in qualifying, destroyed him, and then Stoffel went over to Formula E. Has had a great career in Formula E, mind you. I think he won a championship. So he's done really well over there. But he is actually a reserve driver. He split duties for this. So he's a reserve driver with Aston Martin. So he should be in the Aston Martin racing suit for this card. So that means that we're going to have 4 drivers, guys. 4 drivers. That'll be in, a kind of test/reserve driver role that will be in autographs. I think this is the only place that those drivers are in the set outside of, again, Mick has a driver today. But those are the only place that these guys are in the set. I love to see it. I think it's cool. It's a nice addition, right? I'd rather see more of this and less of principals, personally. We're still getting the principals; they're not going anywhere. But hopefully there's less of them and more of these guys. So I love to see that addition to the autograph set checklist, and let's keep it going. So moving down here, we've got the Futuro autographs. These are the very rare autographs. This is limited to 10 drivers. So as I mentioned earlier, you're going to get a lot of F2, and then you're going to get the rookies. So the rookies here, you see Logan Sargent, Nick DeVries, and Oscar Piastri. But then they've kind of handpicked 7, and I have one gripe here. But they picked 7 F2 drivers. So they picked Ayumu Iwasa, which is a great pick. He did very well in the championship this past year. He's headed to Super Formula next year, kind of like the Liam Lawson route. So he's good. Dennis Hauger is a strong driver. Frederick Vesti was obviously the runner-up in F2 this past season. So he's good. Jack Doohan, he finished the season possibly the strongest driver in F2 by the end of the season. Just the car wasn't there and it had an unfortunate beginning of the season, or he would have been a title contender. So Jack Doohan is a great pick. Again, we've got Logan Sargent, Nick DeVries. Oliver Behrman I love this pick. He, in his first year, finished in the top 8. Oliver Behrman was great. He's going to be with Prema next year up against Kimi Antonelli. That may be a battle for the title, guys. I'm telling you, my 3 picks, by the way, I'll just put it out here right now. My 3 picks for potential championship is Oliver Behrman, Victor Martins, and Kimi Antonelli for next year. Calling it right now. All right. Then we got Oscar Piastri, Ralph Beauchamp. I don't love this pick. Bill will love it. Shout out to Bill. But outside of the first race maybe last year, not a strong showing. So, and then Teo Porcher, who obviously just won, which is great. I think if maybe instead of Ralph Beauchamp, they had put in Victor Martins, I think would have made this checklist absolutely dynamite. But hey, Beauchamp is there for Bill, and he must have put in a call to top. So Beauchamp's there. This is going to be a great set overall, though. 10 drivers. I think they picked them pretty well again. So happy to see this inclusion in the set, and really looking forward to those autographs. Now, again, let's go down to the R2 Grand Prix. So we got R2 Grand Prix. Again, they're out of 25. Well, they have the base, and then they're out of 25 red, superfractor, and printing plates, which is awesome. So that's an addition here. It's going to be nice to see these. I'm really looking forward to them. So we've got Miami, which we saw earlier. We saw the imagery of. Mexico, which that imagery, I don't know, leaked or whatever, but I've seen the imagery for that. It's available. You can find it. It looks epic. It looks really, really nice. We've got Italy again, Monza. So this is another repeat, right? Italy is a repeat. The British Grand Prix is a repeat, and United States Grand Prix is another repeat, actually, with Coda. So there's 3 repeats here. Assuming, I'm pretty sure this is Monza. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Might be Imola. Maybe if it's Imola, it's not a repeat, actually. So we'll see. Maybe that's Imola and it's not a repeat. But British Grand Prix definitely is a repeat. It was Silverstone. And United States Grand Prix, Coda, Circuit of America last year. That is a repeat. But the images look great. I've seen the images, I think, for all of them, and they all look good. I think especially like orange, red, obviously the superfractors. These are going to look dynamite. Really happy they kept R2 Grand Prix in the set. Would have loved to have seen some new tracks. I think, Suzuka, Sao Paulo in Brazil, Singapore. I mean, there's a lot they could have added. But I think overall I'm happy with the set they have. And then again, we've got autos of 1977. These are not autographs. These are the cars, right? And you've got all 20. It's 20 cards. All 20 F1 drivers are in there. It's Nick DeVries. It's not Daniel Ricciardo, just for AlphaTauri. It's going to be Yuki Tsunoda and Nick DeVries. For that one, for the Camber set checklist is blowing my mind. This has been one that I'm still trying to figure out here, because there's 25 cards. And overall, the drivers that they chose, phenomenal. I don't understand why Leclerc has 3, Sainz has 2, Russell has 4, Hamilton has 2, Norris has 2, Max has 5, and Perez has 3. I don't get that. I don't know. Like, are they turning the car a different way? Like, did Leclerc have 3 different setups? Did Max have 5 different setups? I really don't understand why. Who knows? I mean, we'll have to see them to really understand maybe why they did this. But it's an odd checklist. It's an odd checklist for the Camber set. Yeah, that's really all I have to say. Weird. Max has 5. I don't know. But I do love that they've got Michael Schumacher in here, Nigel Mansell, and Ayrton Senna. I think that's awesome. I mean, Superfractor, Ayrton Senna, Camber. Even if you don't like the Cambers, that's gonna be a fire card. Okay, now we're getting into the Constructor's crest. So I talked about this earlier, and again, they're all serial numbered. There's 21 of them because there's 10 F1 teams and 11 F2 teams, so 21 in total. Everything is serial numbered. At least minimum of out of 199 is 1 every 336 packs, and then you get out of 50 gold, out of 50 gold wave, and then orange out of 25, red out of 5. Superfractor out of 1 Constructor crests are gonna be nuts. And then you're printing plates as well. So again, the writing here makes me believe that you're going to see the full name, the full logo of each and every team here, right? I mean, you got MoneyGram, Haas F1 team, Oracle Red Bull Racing, Aston Martin, Aramco, Cognizant. Everyone gives the new steak Alfa Romeo a lot of junk, but come on, Aston Martin, Aramco, Cognizant. Anyways, this is gonna be an amazing set. This again is something we've been waiting for. We've been wanting logos. Some people haven't because they want to keep them specific to 2020, but people love the logos. And I think the one change from 2020 to 2023 is when 2020 came out. I mean, I've been ripping this stuff and collecting this stuff ever since the beginning. When 2020 came out, people didn't want the logos. People are like, oh, great, another logo. Like, I want a driver. I don't want the logos. Like, no one wanted them. And they just, over time, became more and more popular. And I think people realize it's like, hey, especially in Formula One, a lot of the drivers kind of come and go. But for the most part, outside of some of the teams, the teams are going to be there for a while. And some of them are iconic. I mean, Ferrari, Mercedes, Red Bull. I mean, you've got some iconic teams here. So Constructors Crest is going to be great. I mean, Constructors Coalition last year was a fan favorite, collector's favorite. I think Constructors Crest is going to be even above that. I'm really looking forward to these. Again, these and the F1 Armor are the 2 inserts that I am the most excited about. Okay. Now let's go down to Hidden Gems. So this one wasn't mentioned earlier. There are no odds on this, but we've seen Hidden Gems like in soccer, right? It's a case hit. You get 1 in every case. I'm expecting something like that. 1 in every case. Case hit type parallel here. We'll have to see. F1, maybe it'll be a little more rare, 1 in every 2 cases. But this checklist for this is phenomenal. It is absolutely dynamite. You've got Prost, Senna, Mansell, and Schumacher. So you got four legends, right? And then you get Alonso, Russell, Hamilton, Sargent, Verstappen, and Gasly for your 6 F1 drivers, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. You can't get Oscar and everything, right? I think having 1 rookie in there for Logan is nice. Get the U.S. guy in there. Gasly doesn't have a ton of cards in the set, so nice to see him get another one. Obviously, Max, Hamilton, Alonso, probably 3 of the best drivers from last season. Russell's great as well. So love this set. I think the checklist here is really good. Again, we don't have the specific odds. I think it'll be around 1 per case, but we will see. And here we go, guys. F1 Armor. And what I love about F1 Armor is that there's 20 cards in the set. Every driver gets one. And I have to say, I am very happy that they went with Daniel Ricciardo here instead of Nick DeVries, because Daniel Ricciardo has some awesome looking helmets. If fingers crossed, if helmets is what we're getting here for F1 Armor, this is going to be awesome. I mean, every single driver, you get to pick your favorite driver. You get whatever you want in terms of the helmet. I mean, I'm hoping they pick. I think that's the only thing, right? I'm just hoping they pick good helmets, and it's tough to go wrong. But I am so excited for this, and they are rare, which is epic. You're not going to see a ton of them, so when you pull one, even if it's just a gold out of 50, it is going to be legendary. I'm going to go nuts when I pull them. But you get, and it's not a ton of parallels. You get gold out of 50, red out of 5, and superfractors. So, I mean, man, you pull a superfractor F1 armor, whew, that's going to be on the top 10 somewhere. So I'm looking forward to this set. Again, this set and the Constructor's Crest are my two favorite. F1 Armor, I think, is my favorite. If I have to pick one, in one addition to the set for 2023, it's F1 Armor. I think it's really going to make Chrome legendary, because, again, I don't think you'll see this in Sapphire, because generally the Sapphire does not have the inserts. It's just got the base set and the variations, although there is something we'll touch on here at the end that's in a new edition of Sapphire. But F1 Armor and Constructor's Crest, I think, are going to really elevate Chrome this year. Again, I think 2023 is going to be the best set since 2020. So make sure you're ready. Futuro set checklist. Again, this is the exact same checklist, actually, as the Futuro autograph, so I won't go through it too much. But again, nice amount of drivers here. So they've got a base and they've got an autograph, which is great. Speed Demons is a nice set. It's a nice checklist here. Again, we get some legends with Prost and Coulthard and Schumacher. I love to see that. We got the random Daruvula in here, which, that's like track tag 2020 when we had Artem Markelov, right? So that's a little bit of a throwaway one. But overall, the checklist is really good. There's 15 cards in the set. Oscar Piastri's got one. So you're seeing some of the drivers that had him last year get him again, like Leclerc, and some of the drivers that didn't have it get it this year, like Piastri. I don't think Piastri had one last year because it wasn't really in the set. So Hulkenberg is another new addition, Sargent. So really happy to see that. As far as F2, we get Porcher in there, which I think is a good shout. And Daruvula. Daruvala's not as bad, though, as some people think. Some people think Daruvala's like the worst driver in the world. He's not. He's always like middle, top of the pack in F2. Seriously. He is not Roy Nissany. He is not Marino Sato. So he's not that bad. But he is the worst driver in this checklist. Turn Up the Lights. This is another one that is extremely rare, even for the base. The base is 1 out of 1,351. This checklist is great. Again, Zhou Guanyu's getting a lot of love, by the way, in the checklist for inserts. Just a pointer there. So keep that in mind when buying in for Zhou on brakes potentially. But Leclerc, Alonso, K-Mag, again, another driver getting a lot of love. Hamilton, Norris, Sargent, Verstappen, Gasly, Tsunoda, and Zhou Guanyu. So solid. I don't know what Turn Up the Lights is going to be. I have little to no information about Turn Up the Lights checklist. I don't know what it'll look like. I can imagine what it might look like. It's extremely rare. Generally, scarcity and rarity pushes value. So I think they'll be valuable. But I think what they look like will be a determining factor. But I think they are the rarest superfractor. Yep, tied with the Futuro set, right? 1 out of 134,214. That's more rare than the armor, more rare than the crests. I think, what are the Futuro autos up here? Bear with me. Yeah, same as the Futuro autos and the Futuro base, tied turn up the lights superfractor. Absolutely incredibly rare. Obviously, that's due to the fact there's only 10 cards. So, that's part of it. But they're going to be ones that, man, if you hit a super, even a red of these turn up the lights are going to be epic. Hopefully they look good. Really looking forward to it. So again, that is kind of the rundown on the entire checklist. Now, one of the things I wanted to do is kind of just give you guys a glimpse. I put together a spreadsheet. This is for, everything that I'm doing on format, and the number of cards. I look through the entire base set here, the short prints, standard inserts, autographs, Futuro set, rare inserts, etc. And then what I've done here is I've actually put together how many cards each team and each driver will get. So I think the big thing here is, guys, look, Max Verstappen has 39 cards. Red Bull has 62 cards. I mean, this is going to be a heavy Max, heavy Red Bull set, but there's a lot of Mercedes, a lot of Ferrari. There's a decent spread across the rest of the teams. You're all getting around 20 to 25 or so. There's 20 Legends cards in the set, which is great. And then, of course, F2 is always going to have the most, 96. I will touch on kind of the drivers that I'm focused on here in F2. I think it's important to know. Oliver Behrman, Victor Martins, Zane Maloney, Kush Miney, and Arthur Leclerc, Jack Crawford, Isaac Hadjar. They're all first-year cards. There are a couple other guys that have first-year cards, but they're not in F2 anymore, so I wouldn't really pay attention to those guys. But, Behrman, Martins, Maloney, Miney, Leclerc, Crawford, and Hadjar, those 7, this is their first year. This is their first year in the product. If you are into kind of prospecting or that kind of thing, you believe in any of these drivers, those are going to be the ones you're going to want to go for. Those are likely the ones that are going to be broken out as well in breaks, and then everyone else will kind of be lumped into all of their F2, which is actually going to make the all of their F2 spot crazy value, because you're going to get, and again, I don't know what everyone else is going to do, but this is probably the way I'm going to set it up, which means you're going to get, folks like Vesti, Doohan, Enzo Fittipaldi, Hauger, like some solid drivers at Wassa. They're all going to be lumped in all of their F2. All their F2, 53 cards based on breaking out these guys, breaking out these 9. I also broke out Pourchaire and Drugovich because he's got an image variation. Pourchaire, he's got a ton of cards in the set. So that's awesome. But again, 53 in that all their F2 spot is going to be dynamite. And then taking a look at the Legends here, Prost has 4, Mansell 4, Senna 4, Schumacher gets 5, and then David Coulthard gets 3. So you got 20 total for the Legends. You've got your F1 crests, your F2 crests, ADGP, and then again the 2 award winners. This is the breakdown up here in terms of teams, the number of cards. I think that is correct. Again, some of this is based on assumptions of where the test reserve drivers are going to go. But overall, this should be pretty spot on. Again, there are 427 unique cards in this set. If you were to collect the base set, all of the different image variations, celebrations, R2 Grand Prix, and every single insert, etc., you're looking at 427 cards. So awesome set. And guys, the last thing that I wanted to do here before I let you go, if you stuck with me for this long, kudos to you, hats off. But seriously, appreciate it. The last thing I want to do is just a tiny touch on Sapphire. So these are the official odds that were released by Topps.com, right? So Topps put these odds out there, right? So you're going to see, again, there's no red wave. It's just red refractor and the red, checkered flag X-fractor and your red green. So again, no red wave. But one of the things I want to touch on is that they also have Sapphire in here, right? So you got your hobby pack box. They have Sapphire on here. So again, let's go down to Sapphire. Here we go. So this is big, in my opinion. For Sapphire, we've got your base. You've got Aqua out of 99 is the most common parallel. That means Chartreuse is gone, and Sepia, negative, whatever you want to call it, that's also gone. So out of 199, out of 100, gone. You got your aqua out of 99, and then he goes right to gold. So green out of 75, also gone. Then you've got orange out of 25, black and white out of 15, purple out of 10, red out of 5, and your Pad Paraja out of 1, right? So love to see that. You can also see here, again, base card image. So this is where I have a question, because base card image, you think, okay, base card image variation is what they're talking about, right? So now, does that mean that there's no celebrations? Does that mean that they're both and they're just not in here listed? Only time will tell. I would be more of the mind, I think the image variation should be in there 100%. And then I'm not sure on the celebrations, on whether they're going to be in. Because here again, you're seeing base card image, and then image, this should have said aqua here, but then gold, orange, red. So there's no black and white. There's no purple. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if this is finalized yet for Sapphire. They've got some typos and things like that, but image variations are going to be rare, guys. We're not going to see it in every color. It's going to be really cool. And then the last thing I want to leave you with for Sapphire is the following. They have a new insert, Sapphire Selections. You've seen it in baseball. So Sapphire Selections, it's just a specific to Sapphire set. Sapphire Selections, we've got the base, orange out of 25, red out of 5, and a super fractor in Sapphire, crazy, out of 1, which is awesome. It's limited to 10 drivers. There's only 10 drivers. I don't have them up here, but you know, a lot of the best drivers are in there, like Max and Lewis. There's also Lance Stroll and some folks in there, but it'll be really cool. But the last thing, look at this. Sapphire Selections Auto Superfractor and Sapphire Selections Auto Red Refractor. Does that mean that F1 is finally getting autos in Sapphire? If they are, if this is true, if this is, you know, legitimate, it's not many, right? If there's 10 cards in the Sapphire Selection set and you're only getting red numbered to 5 and Superfractor, you're only getting 60 total. So that means there's 60 total, which means it's going to be 1 in like 17 cases or something. It's going to be extremely hard to hit an autograph. It might even be more rare than that. But they're going to be very hard to hit. Only 60 total. It's going to be awesome, though. Another thing to note here, guys, for 2023 in general is the print run is being reduced. So last year, if you compare 2022 Chrome Hobby plus Chrome Light, we're reducing that. It's coming down over 1,000 cases. Over 1,000 cases reduction from 2022 to 2023, so it will be more scarce. There'll still be plenty to go around. Don't worry. We're still looking at, like, you know, over 5,000 cases, like, you know, 5,800 or 5,500, something around there in terms of cases. So there's going to be plenty of cases. But Sapphire specifically is being drastically reduced. Sapphire is actually, based on the print run odds that we've seen so far, Sapphire is actually going to be more rare than 2020 Sapphire. They are drastically cutting down the print run, which I am very happy for. I don't know what that means for the price. It might mean that they're more expensive, but they'll be more rare. It'll be fun to see kind of where that goes. But overall, my takeaways here on the product are, I think the design is solid. We'll really have to wait till we see it in person to see how overpowering that F1 logo is. But I think the design is all right. I think the inserts that they've added are phenomenal in F1 armor and Constructor's crests. I think those are all-time inserts. Amazing they've added that. And then I think they've done some great things by bringing in both image variations and celebrations, adding in the Futuro autos and Futuro base set, bringing in the legends. Guys, there are a ton of positives about 2023 Chrome and Sapphire, and I'm really looking forward to ripping it. I cannot wait, guys. The release date is January 31st, 2024. Be on the lookout for breaks, for buying boxes for yourself, for singles that'll be hitting eBay and everywhere once this stuff starts getting ripped. But I am overall positive. Positive. I think this is going to be a great set. Again, I think it's going to be the best set since 2020. So buckle up. We're going to have a ton of it in the F1 Castle. Cannot wait to rip it with you all. But guys, that is going to do it for me. If you stuck around all the way to the end, go ahead and put a comment in the video and tell me what parallel you're the most excited about, what new parallel you're the most excited about, and you'll be entered into a giveaway. We'll give away a box of 2023 from everyone that puts in a comment what your favorite parallel is. So if you stuck around all the way to the end, drop your favorite parallel in the comments. You'll be entered into a giveaway for a free 2023 Chrome hobby box ripped live in the F1 Castle for you. Cannot wait to get my hands on this product and rip it with all of you. But guys, that is it for me, for Scott from the F1 Castle. We're shutting down the castle gates. Till the next one. All right, guys, that is going to do it for part 2. That is everything that I've got to say for right now. I'm sure we'll have more to talk about once the set actually comes out. But guys, if you could do me a favor, drop in the comments what your favorite insert and what you're looking forward to the most of the 2023 Chrome F1 set. Drop that in the comments and you'll be entered into a giveaway for a free 2023 Chrome hobby box ripped live in the F1 Castle.